First, the highlights. Ex-NBA president halts assembly from probing IBAs in Rivers. Wike plans to implement 2025 budget in health sector. Obi demand prosecution of certificate fraudsters. NNPC links cooking gas price hike to Pengasan strike. Israel, Hamas begins ceasefire talks in Egypt. Choir United sacks coach after home defeat. Monarch wants drug tests for Mandikis. Former President of Nigerian Bar Association, Chief Onweze Okocha, has advised the Rivers State House of Assembly against probing ex-Sole Administrator, retired Vice Admiral Ibok Ete Ibas. Okocha will disclose this while speaking with newsmen on Monday in Port Harcourt, urged the Rivers State House of Assembly members to focus on rebuilding the state through robust legislative commitments as well as channel the energy towards accomplishing constitutional duties rather than probing. This is coming after Ibas served as the sole administrator of Rivers State from March to September 2025, following the suspension of Governor Siminalayi Fubara by President Bola, while there have been calls for an investigation into his administration since he vacated office. But Okocha said plans by the members to review as well as probe the administrator's spending during the 6-month emergency rule were unnecessary and could be misunderstood as a witch hunt since he was only deployed to accomplish a task as directed by President Bola Tinubu. The former NBA boss therefore appealed to the lawmakers to preoccupy themselves with rebuilding harmonious relationships with the various arms of government to achieve democratic stability in the state. Chief Magistrate's Court, presided over by His Worship Wonlu Omodu Esquire, has struck out the criminal case of assault occasion harm allegedly by Hector Ekekite Aloni Olodi, ex-Chief Security Officer of Ahuda East Local Government Area of Rivers State, the ex-Chief of Staff against the former sole administrator of the council, Goodluck Iheanacho. In a court document dated October 6, 2025 and signed by Fiene Jumbo, Assistant Chief Registrar 1, the court document read that upon this criminal proceeding coming up before the Worship O.N. Wonlu Omodu Esquire, Chief Magistrates GD1 for hearing and determination, after hearing the oral submission of N.S. Onwoche Esquire, State Legal Officer, State CID for Legal and Prosecution, and Umazinihe Udogadi Esquire, counsel to the defendant, F.A. McKinney Esquire, holding a watching brief of the nominal complaint. The statement also said, due to the information given by the State Legal Officer, the parties have settled oral oath submission from nominal complaint against Honorable Goodluck Iheanacho, and the case was struck out and the defendants discharged. Akwa Ibom State Governor Omo Eno has denied any involvement in the withdrawal of the security details of an ex-governor, Odo Emmanuel. Commissioner for Information, Anyekan Umana, has described the report as false and misleading, insisting that the deployment of or withdrawal of police officers does not fall within the powers of any governor. Speaking with Government House correspondent to Uyo on Sunday, the Commissioner for Information, Umana, said Eno had no hand in the withdrawal of Emmanuel's security details, adding that the deployment, reassignment, or withdrawal of police officers is the exclusive responsibility of the Inspector General of Police and the Commissioner of Police in each state, not the duty of any governor. The commissioners also said all former governors of Akwa Ibom State will continue to enjoy their security details as approved by law, and urged members of the public to disregard what he called baseless propaganda, stressing that Governor Eno remains focused on promoting peace, unity, and good governance across the state. Emmanuel, who played a key role in Eno's emergence as governor under the People's Democratic Party in 2023, is regarded as his political mentor, and their relationship is believed to have strained in recent months following Eno's reported defection to the All Progressives Congress. Calabar Area Office of the National Inland Waterways Authority has donated 200 life jackets to beach operators, boat owners, and other stakeholders operating within the Calabar section of Calabar-Oron Waterways to enhance safety. The Calabar Area Manager of NIWA, Stanley Onoha, while presenting the items on Monday in Calabar, named over 20 ambassadors to help enhance waterway safety in Cross River State, adding that the ambassadors comprise the chairman of the Maritime Workers Union, councillors of Calabar Local Government Area, traditional rulers, and House of Assembly members. He also said the donation of life savings items is in line with the quarterly sensitization engagement program with maritime stakeholders at the Safe Journey Beach in Calabar South, Cross River State, aimed at educating commuters on the need to use the life jacket while urging all stakeholders to carry out sensitization to the grassroots. He further said the sensitization is the third quarterly engagement within the year and is in line with the mandate of the CEO and Managing Director of the authority as well as the Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy, excuse me, adding that NIWA is happy that the stakeholders are embracing the message, while the life jackets were gratefully received by beach operators and boat owners who acknowledged the critical role they would play in preventing water accidents. One of the ambassadors, Efyong Ekarika, member representing Calabar South in the State Assembly, welcomed the appointment, saying stakeholders will help take the message to the grassroots. Nigeria Union of Teachers in Cross River State has urged the state government to increase funding for the education sector from 15% to 26% of the annual budget to boost productivity. The union's chairman, Comrade Gregory Olayi, appealed for the 2025 World Teachers' Day celebration at the UJ Esuenek Sports Stadium in Calabar, and also demanded the promotion of teachers to grade level 17 and appointment as permanent secretaries, citing similar practices in neighboring states of Akwa Ibom, Bayelsa, and Rivers. He said meeting the teachers' demands would boost productivity and equally highlighted key issues, including the release of the education budget, employment of more teachers in primary and secondary schools, and prompt payment of salaries for primary school teachers, and also urged the state government to address these concerns to revitalize the education sector. In his response, Governor Basu, also represented at the event by the State Commissioner for Education, Stephen Ode, assured the teachers of the state government's willingness to make the teaching profession attractive, adding that the state government has concluded arrangements for the establishment of an education trust fund to provide support for teachers in the state. Anambra State Governor Shukuma Soludo has declared Tuesday, October 7, a school-free day to celebrate and honor teachers across the state. The State's Commissioner for Education, Professor Ngozi Chuma Ude, who disclosed this in a statement on Monday on Oka, said the 2025 World Teachers' Day fell on Sunday, and the state governor has approved Tuesday as a school-free day to celebrate and honor teachers in the state. He said accordingly, all teachers, parents, and proprietors and proprietresses are expected to assemble at the Alex Ekweme Square, Oka, to give honor to whom honor is due. Adding that teachers across Nigeria on Sunday renewed calls for improved welfare, better working conditions, and the full implementation of the 65-year retirement age policy. At various events held nationwide, teachers, unions, and education stakeholders decried the slow pace of policy implementation, poor remuneration, and inadequate teaching facilities, which they said continue to undermine the quality of education, and further urged federal and state governments to prioritize teachers' welfare and ensure that promises made to the education sector are fulfilled. Police command in Lagos State has arrested 5 suspected cultists following a violent clash between rival groups in Onireke and Isashi. Badagry Command spokesperson SP Abimbola Adebisi, who confirmed the arrest in a statement on Sunday in Lagos, said the suspects, aged between 28 and 43, were apprehended during a coordinated operation that prevented further violence and restored calm to the communities. Adebisi said the tactical team and detectives swiftly arrived at the scene, rescuing 3 victims who were taken to the hospital for urgent medical care, and one of the victims was confirmed dead by the doctor on duty at Badagry General Hospital. Adebisi also said police raided the area, leading to the arrest of 5 suspects allegedly involved in the attack and killing, and also recovered items including 1 locally made pistol, 2 pump-action guns, 52 live cartridges, 2 expended cartridges, a Toyota Avalon, a laptop, phones, and other weapons, while the suspects are in custody to face prosecution after investigations are concluded. The Commissioner of Police, Mr. Olohundare Jimo, commended the operatives for their professionalism and swift response, and also reaffirmed the command's determination to eradicate cultism and related crimes across Lagos State, and further urged residents to remain law-abiding, security conscious, and to report suspicious activities to the nearest police station promptly. Communities surrounding Lisa Town in the Ifo local government area of Ogun State have declared plans to mark the 20th anniversary of the Bellevue Airlines plane crash, which claimed 117 lives at Lisa Village on 22 October 2005. The declaration came during a strategic meeting of representatives from the 32 communities that make up the Ifeso-Wapo Consultative Forum, while chairman of the forum, Dr. Fola Abati, has outlined preparations for what he described as a truly memorable and meaningful event. Abati said the commemoration will feature interreligious prayer sessions, an aviation safety lecture and outreach to families of the victims, while government officials, aviation stakeholders, and members of the international community are expected to participate, adding that to ensure wider participation, the event will be live streamed to allow those outside Lisa across Nigeria and in diaspora to join the tribute. Abati recalled that the crash which drew global attention to Lisa led to the construction of the Lisa Memorial Arcade by former President Olusegun Obasanjo and Governor Benga Daniel with promises of sustained development, adding that after 2 decades later, the arcade has deteriorated and the 10.5-kilometer Ijoko-Oyero Lisa access road remains in poor condition. The forum commended the Deputy Chief Whip of the House of Representatives, Ibrahim Ishaka, for facilitating the construction of a flyover bridge at the Awela River axis, significantly reducing annual flood-related deaths, and also commended His Royal Majesty Oba Oladele Odugbemi for his leadership in security, infrastructure, and government engagement, which has kept the voice of the region alive in the corridors of power. The 20th anniversary observance is scheduled for October 22, 2025. 2 suspected vandals have been apprehended by soldiers in Otukpo local government area of Benue State for allegedly tampering with equipment and installations at the Benue Burnt Bricks Company. According to the reports, the suspects were caught on Saturday night while attempting to vandalize the facility located along the federal highway in Otukpo before they were intercepted by soldiers stationed at a nearby checkpoint, and the suspects, identified as Wilson Egbanga and Oko Akoja, and both claimed to be residents of Otukpo local government area. A resident who gave his name simply as Adaji said some locals noticed suspicious activities at the site and alerted the soldiers, who quickly responded and arrested the suspects, while the chairman of Otukpo local government area, Honorable Maxwell Ogiri, said the suspects were handed over to the office of the Department of State Service DSS in Otukpo for further investigation. Speaking through his media aide Joshua Otene, the chairman said the suspects were arrested at the scene and several items were recovered from them, including heavy metal cut sheets, a large wallet, spanners, 2 big gas cylinders, and a smaller gas cylinder fitted with hoses suspected to be used for metal cutting. When contacted, the Otukpo DSS second in command, Mr. Abba Bashir, confirmed the arrest, stressing that the suspects are still in custody and will soon be transferred to Makurdi. Benue State Governor Hyacinth Ali has sponsored over 30 youths from different parts of the state on the 5-year empowerment program in Europe. The governor's special assistant on social media, Asota James, who discloses in a Facebook post on Monday, said the beneficiaries are from a poor background and have departed Benue for Belarus, Europe on Sunday. The statement said the state has been facing security crisis. The 7 citizens who are predominantly farmers, stressing that the security issues being allegedly perpetrated by Fulani herdsmen have sacked millions of residents from their ancestral homes. Abuja-based veterinary doctor and former chairman of the Nigerian Veterinary Medical Association, FCT chapter, Dr. Ifeanyi Ogbu, has been killed by suspected kidnappers who whisked away his 3 children. Eyewitness said the incident happened at the deceased residence in Kuba district along the Kuba-Kaduna road that was invaded on Friday night by the gunmen after they abducted him alongside his 3 children and later dumped his body by the roadside. Dr. Obu's death was confirmed by Andrew Gabriel Ikechukwu via his Facebook page, stressing that the corpse of the deceased was found on the roadside, adding that Dr. Obu's family remains in distress as efforts continue to locate and rescue his 3 abducted children. This is coming after colleagues and friends have expressed shock at the killing, describing it as a devastating loss to both his family and the veterinary profession. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Nyesom Wike, has appealed for time to allow him to implement the provisions of the 2025 capital budget in the health sector. Wike said he would also replicate the same gesture in other sectors of the FCT. Wike disclosed this during a flag-off of the construction of Mohammed Issa Road extension in Asokoro district, Abuja, and reiterated his previous pledge to rehabilitate 40 more schools within the capital city. Federal Capital Territory Administration has flagged off 4 kilometers of new roads and drainages projects in Asokoro extension has been a part of the renewed hope infrastructure drive of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration aimed at repositioning Abuja to compete with leading global cities. Speaking during a flag-off ceremony 6 October 2025 in Abuja, the FCT Minister Barrister Nyesom Wike said he is the President's agent as FCT Minister to carry out the vision of making Abuja one of the best cities in the world.
Mr. President, as President, has agents or people who carry out his directives or instruction. You cannot say FCT is working and Mr. President is not working. Does it make sense? Through us, we carry out the directive, we carry out instructions, we carry out the vision of Mr. President. And one of the visions he has is that FCT must compete favorably with other cities of the world. And that is what we are doing. Look at the topography. Look at the landscape. By the time these roads are completed, the drainages are put in place, the street light is on. What are we talking about? Look at the employment that is being created. Every day, one company carrying out one construction or the other. Tomorrow we'll be in another place where another company will be carrying out construction. Wednesday, the same thing. Thursday, the same thing. And our teaming support, our teaming youths are all engaged in this. That is creation of a job. If you look at it, look at the picture, look at the topography. And it comes out this way. For those of you who have had the opportunity to travel overseas, it is not as if it is magic. It is because of commitment. It is because the leadership wants to be committed and want to do the work. And that is what the president is doing today.
While the Executive Secretary of FCDA gave the overview of the project, while appealing to the residents to cooperate with the contractor for effective implementation of the project.
The Federal Capital City. Asokoro District is one of the districts on the eastern fringes of the Federal Capital City. It accommodates several state government lodges and other diplomatic residences. In the course of time, further need for expansions resulted in creation of additional areas, such as this area, where we have Mohammed Issa Street layout, where it is located, and thus the need for provision of necessary engineering infrastructure. Accordingly, the FCT administration processed and the Federal Executive Council approved the award of the contract for the provision of infrastructure to Mohammed Issa Street extension and other streets, such as the Mike Ezekome Crescent, part of Hamza Abdullahi Crescent, Emmanuel Mbaka Drive, Aminu Ifesinachi Crescent, as well as other spots that are here. The contract for this project was awarded to Messrs. Global Spectrum Energy Services Limited in August 2025, with a completion period of 14 months. The project includes the construction of about 4 kilometers of roads, along with other services like surface water drainage, retaining walls, pipe culverts, water distribution network, sewer line network, street lighting, power supply, and telecommunication ducts. During the construction, the job opportunity will avail for our teaming youth, and when completed, the project will provide access, road and engineering infrastructure to this area and several other streets in this layout, thereby enhancing movement, interconnectivity of residents, and improving the security in this area, while enhancing public infrastructure. We seek the cooperation and support of residents in this area to ensure a smooth and timely implementation of the project. Thank you all for coming to join the Honorable Minister of FCT, Barrister Dr. Ezenwo Nyesom Wike, on the flag-off of this laudable project. Thank you and God bless.
Troops of the 6th Brigade Nigerian Army, operating under Sector 3 of Operation Well/OPWS, have dislodged several bandits' hideouts in Takum and Usa local government councils of Taraba State. A statement on Monday by the Acting Assistant Director, Army Public Relations of the Brigade, Lieutenant Umar Mohammed, said it was part of the ongoing Operation Lafia Nakwa, and the operation followed credible intelligence on bandits' activities in Tarembe, Tony, TY Farm, Kando in Takum, and areas in Osa local government area where farmland had been destroyed. He said on October 5, troops launched simultaneous clearance operations in the affected areas, while Brigadier General Kingsley Chidebere, who was commander of 6th Brigade, commended the troops for their residence and professionalism and urged residents to continue providing timely and credible information to help security agencies restore peace in the state. He also said the operations had disrupted criminal activities, denied bandits freedom of action, and reassured local communities of the Nigerian Army's commitments to protecting lives and property. Kano State Governor Abba Yusuf has approved the appointment of Dr. Suraj Sulaiman as the new Statistician General and Director General of the Kano State Bureau of Statistics. A statement signed on Monday by the governor's spokesperson, Sunusi Bature, said the appointment takes immediate effect and follows the completion of the tenure of the former Statistician General, Associate Professor Aliyu Isa Aliyu, who was recently elevated to the position of Commissioner for Livestock Development. Bature said Yusuf had directed that the official handover and taking over ceremony be held between Monday and Friday this week, stressing that Suleiman is an academic and mathematician with extensive experience in research, teaching, and statistical analysis. He also holds an MSc in mathematics from Yasak University, Turkey, 2012 to 2014, and a BSc in mathematics from Kano University of Tech Science and Technology, Udil 2006 and 2010. And Suleiman began his tertiary studies at the College of Arts, Science, and Remedial Studies, Kano, where he obtained a diploma in mathematics education, 2004 and 2006. Receiving his message of felicitation as the DG of the Kano Bureau of Statistics, congratulated Suleiman on his well-deserved appointment, expressing confidence that his wealth of academic and professional experience will reposition the Bureau for more effective service delivery, while the Kano State Governor reaffirmed his administration's commitment to enhancing data-driven governance, adding that reliable statistics are crucial for effective planning, transparency, and sustainable development in Kano State. Sokoto State indigents hoping to secure jobs through the state's government recruitment exercise have been given extra time to apply. The Sokoto State Recruitment Committee declared an extension of the recruitment portal deadline from October 6 to October 12, 2025, adding that the move is aimed at giving more qualified candidates the chance to participate in the ongoing recruitment exercise. According to the committee, the extension is to ensure that no eligible applicant is left out. A statement signed by Secretary of the Recruitment Committee, Gandhi Umar Muhammad, said the extension is to enable more qualified Sokoto State indigents to apply, stressing that the process was aimed at providing employment opportunities for qualified indigents of the state. It also said candidates must register with valid email addresses and phone numbers, fill in their biodata, and upload required documents such as educational certificate, as well as proof of indigent, birth certificate, and national identification number. The committee urged applicants to ensure stable internet connection during registration and cautioned residents not to pay anyone for the recruitment. You're watching the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. We'll be back after this break. Welcome back. This is the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. Now to the rest of our stories. President Bola Tinubu has returned to Abuja after a 10-day working visit to Lagos, during which he held a series of high-profile engagements with investors, commissioned projects, and attended national events. A statement on Monday by his special advisor on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, the president arrived in Lagos on Friday, September 26, after attending the coronation of Olubadan of Ibadan land, Oba Rashidi Ladoja in Ibadan. While in Lagos, the president met with key investors, including Bayo Ogunlesi, Chief Executive Officer of Global Infrastructure Partners, and Kim Bello Osagie, Chairman of Metis Capital Partners and former Chairman of United Bank for Africa and Etisalat. President Tinubu also received the Secretary General of the International Maritime Organization, Mr. Arsenio Dominguez, in the company of the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adegboyega Oyetola, and other heads of agencies in the sector. And during the meeting, President Tinubu reaffirmed his administration's commitment to developing Nigeria's maritime industry as a viable alternative to fossil energy. The statement said, ahead of Nigeria's 65th independence anniversary, the president visited Imo State to inaugurate projects executed by Governor Hope Uzodinma and unveiled a book authored by the governor, chronicling a decade of all progressives Congress in government, while Tinubu delivered his Independence Day broadcast from the State House, Dodan Barracks, and later commissioned the renovated National Theatre, now renamed the Wolo Soyinka Center for Culture and the Creative Arts, where he urged Nigerians to speak positively about their country. The president also visited Jos, Plateau State on Saturday, October 4, to attend the funeral of Mama Lydia Iwada, mother of APC National Chairman Professor Nentawe Iwada, and at the ceremony, Tinubu paid tribute to the late matriarch and assured Christian communities in northern Nigeria of his administration's commitment to fairness and equity among all religious groups. Vice President Kashim Shettima has urged Nigerians to respect and protect the multi-billion-dollar investment of Africa's richest man, Aliko Dangote, warning that safeguarding such ventures is crucial to securing the country's economic future. Excuse me. Speaking on Monday at the opening of the 2025 Nigerian Economic Summit in Abuja, Shettima described Dangote as an institution and a pillar of Nigeria's economic development, adding that the $20 billion Dangote refinery, which with its 650,000 barrel per day capacity, was a national asset vital to Nigeria's growth and global competitiveness. The vice president made remarks against the backdrop of last week's industrial action by oil workers under the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria over the alleged sack of about 800 unionized employees at the refinery. The strike was later suspended following the intervention of the Minister of Labour and Employment, Muhammad Dingyadi, and the National Security Advisor, Ribadu Nihu, adding that the billionaire industrialist deserves collective support for choosing to invest heavily in Nigeria rather than abroad. The vice president also appealed to both labor unions and the organized private sector to show restraint and patriotism in resolving industrial disputes, warning that reckless actions could undermine national progress. Management of the National Assembly has cautioned aggrieved parliamentary workers against their planned protest and picketing of the complex as lawmakers resumed plenary on Tuesday. The warning followed threats by some members of the Parliamentary Staff Association of Nigeria to embark on industrial action over alleged unresolved welfare and constitutional issues affecting staff. In a circular by the Secretary of Human Resources and Staff Development, SN Eyo SN, on behalf of the clerk to the National Assembly, Kamoru Ogunlana, the management warned that any attempt to disrupt legislative activities would attract severe disciplinary measures. SN emphasized that membership of PASAN or any union is entirely voluntary. Any staff member, whether an executive or regular member who is dissatisfied with the conduct of union affairs, may freely withdraw their membership in accordance with the established rules. He also said within 7 months of assuming office, the current management had embarked on several administrative reforms aimed at improving efficiency and boosting staff morale, and directed that they styled concerned PASAN members to desist from their planned protest, saying any defiance would lead to severe disciplinary actions. All Progressives Congress in Plateau State has dismissed former Vice President Atiku Abubakar's criticism of President Bola Tinubu's recent visit to Jos, stating that the ex-vice president lacks the local standard to complain on behalf of the people of the state. This is coming after Tinubu over the weekend attended the funeral service of Mama Lydia held at the Church of Christ and Nations, headquarters in Jos, the Plateau State capital. And during the service, the president delivered a speech calling for unity, peace, and tolerance, and urged residents to shun religious and ethnic differences and to coexist in harmony. A statement signed on Monday by its acting publicity secretary Shitu Bamayi, Plateau APC, said Atiku's attack was politically motivated and uninformed. Reacting to the statement, Atiku condemned Tinubu's decision to visit Plateau, which is one of the areas hardest hit by violent attacks, as a sad reflection of priorities and a mockery of leadership, and alleged the president's decision to attend events under the auspices of his party's national chairman showed a lack of empathy and compassion. The ex-VP argued that Tinubu should have visited to commiserate with the victims of the persistent killings and displacement across the region, but APC argued that Atiku's censure ignored the role of state governors in maintaining security and the support the president to local security efforts, stressing that Atiku's comments were tantamount to making political capital out of tragedy. We're going to quick break, and when we return, we'll continue the rest of our stories. Do stay tuned.
These are exciting times for broadcasting in Africa. The National Broadcasting Commission is set to host the 14th Biennial Conference and Exhibition of African Broadcasters, Africast 2025 in Lagos, Nigeria. Participants will experience a week of world-class expositions showcasing the very best in creativity, innovation, and cutting-edge broadcasting technological advancement and trends in the global broadcast media ecosystem. Theme: Navigating the Digital Surge, Building a Resilient Africa Media Ecosystem for the Future. Date: Monday, October 20th to Friday, October 24th, 2025. Venue: Balmoral Convention Center, Sheraton, Ikeja, Lagos, Nigeria. Time: 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. Visit www.africastexpo.com or email info@nbc.gov.ng. NBC, your right to quality broadcasting. Announcer, Management.
Welcome back. Labour Party's presidential candidate in 2023, Peter Obi, has warned that certificate forgery risks normalizing crime in Nigeria following media reports that a minister in President Bola Tinubu's cabinet admitted he never received a university degree. Obi urged immediate and systemic action, including the prosecution of any official guilty of certificate fraud. He made the remarks in a statement on Monday following an investigative report that reviewed the University of Nigeria in Nsukka disowned the Bachelor of Science degree certificate in the possession of the Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, Uche Nnaji, saying the politician did not complete his studies at the institution and was never issued a certificate. Citing court documents filed before Justice Hawa Yiwa of the Federal High Court in Abuja, the report claimed that Nnaji also admitted that UNN never issued him a degree certificate, adding that the minister instituted a suit against the Minister of Education, the National Universities Commission (NUC), the University of Nigeria 8th Vice Chancellor Professor Simon Otuanya, the registrar, a former acting Vice Chancellor Professor Ogwejiofo Ujam, and the University Senate. In a statement, Obi said those who are supposed to be exemplary have become the very source of the nation's decay, and warned that when dishonest behavior is modeled by public officials and also corrodes the moral standards available to young Nigerians. The former Anambra governor recounted a conversation with Indonesia's electoral authorities in which forged or falsely claimed qualifications attract immediate disqualification and prosecution. Nigerian Medical Association has conducted the court-ordered health examinations on the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu. The judge's ruling following an application by Kanu to be moved from the custody of the Department of State Services to the National Hospital over what he described as a failing health, and the judge directed that the committee, among other tasks, should access the DSS Health Hospital to confirm whether it has capacity to meet Kanu's health needs. Justice Omotoshok further ruled that the NMA committee would be at liberty to make use of any hospital in the country for its investigations, and the Secretary General of the NMA, Dr. Ben Egbo, who confirmed the development, said the Federal High Court in Abuja had on September 26 ordered the NMA to within 8 days constitute a panel of medical experts to assess the health condition of Kanu. In his ruling, Justice James Omotosho ordered the NMA president to submit the committee's report within 8 days for consideration on whether Kanu should be transferred to the National Hospital for treatment, while the NMA Secretary General Egbo said the evaluation had been done as ordered by the court, adding that the report had been submitted to the Attorney General of the Federation. The General Secretary also said that any further inquiries should be directed to the Ministry of Justice, while Kanu, through his legal team, has petitioned the World Medical Association over what he described as serious health challenges and inadequate medical care while in the custody of the Department of State Services. in a letter dated October 3, 2025, and signed by Kano's International Counsel Bruce Fain on his behalf and addressed to the WMA President Dr. Jacqueline Ketulu. Kano claimed that his health condition had deteriorated due to insufficient medical attention in detention within the Nigerian facility in solitary confinement for more than 4 years without a trial, after he was arrested in Nairobi, Kenya in June 2021. Nigerian Meteorological Agency NIMET has predicted rainy and thundery weather conditions across Nigeria from Monday to Wednesday. NIMET's weather outlook released on Sunday in Abuja envisaged thunderstorms with moderate rainfall over part of Jigawa, Zamfara, Kano, Kaduna, Bauchi, Yobe, and Katsina in the northern state on Monday morning. The agency predicted rains in Kebbi, Adamawa, and Taraba later in the day, while flash floods are possible in Bauchi, Jigawa, Katsina, Kaduna, and Kano state during this period, while in the south, light to moderate rains will affect Ondo, Imo, Abia, Enugu, Ebonyi, Anambra, Edo, Delta, Bayelsa, Rivers, Cross River, and Akwa Ibom. NIMET envisaged sunny skies with patchy clouds on Tuesday in the northern with thunderstorms and rains persisting in parts of Adamawa, Taraba, and neighboring states, while central and southern regions will continue experiencing moderate rainfall. And on Wednesday, sunshine with thunderstorms is expected over northern states in the morning, while cloudy skies and moderate rains are expected over the central region. The agency cautioned residents in the flood-prone areas to activate emergency responses, avoid driving during heavy rains, secure loose objects, and take precautions against strong winds and low nighttime temperatures, and also urge the public to disconnect electrical appliances during storms and avoid shelter under trees. And now to some business news. Group Chief Executive of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Mr. Bayo Ojlari, has blamed the recent rise in cooking gas prices on a temporary disruption to loading and distribution during the strike by the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria. Ojlari disclosed this while speaking to State House correspondents after a meeting with President Bola Tinubu. Said the industrial action halted operations for several days and produced an artificial spike in prices. The price surge followed the Pengasan industrial action, which was launched over the dismissal of Nigerian workers at the Dangote refinery and suspended on October 1 after federal government intervention, and also accused opportunistic retailers of exploiting the shortfall to hike prices. He, however, assured Nigerians that as supply chains stabilize, the cooking gas price is expected to ease in the coming weeks, adding that Dangote Group's agreement to redeploy affected staff and the resumption of operations have begun to ease supply bottlenecks. And now to some international tidbits. Delegations from Hamas, Israel, and the United States are due to convene in Egypt for talks on Monday, with President Donald Trump urging negotiators to move fast to end the nearly 2-year war in Gaza. Both Hamas and Israel have responded positively to Trump's proposal for an end to the fighting and the release of captives in Gaza in exchange for Palestinians held in Israeli jails. Hamas's led negotiator Khalid al-Aliyah was to meet with mediators from Egypt and Qatar in Cairo. Monday morning, a senior official from the Palestinian militant group discloses ahead of talks in the Egyptian resort town of Sharm el-Sheikh. Officials said negotiations will look to determine the date of a temporary truce and create conditions for a first phase of the peace plan, in which 47 hostages held in Gaza are to be released in return for hundreds of Palestinian detainees. Foreign ministers from several countries, including Egypt, said the talks were a real opportunity to achieve a sustainable ceasefire, while Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu expressed hope that the hostages could be released within days. Death toll from the collapse of a school in Indonesia has risen to 54, and rescuers are still searching after more than a dozen people had been confirmed missing. This is coming after hundreds of students, most of them teenage boys, had gathered for prayers at the Al-Kozini Islamic Boarding School in East Java when it collapsed last Monday while undergoing construction. Indonesia's Disaster Mitigation Agency says it is the country's deadliest disaster this year, and rescuers are expected to complete their search for 13 victims trapped under the rubble by the end of the day. Investigators are still looking into the cause of the collapse, while some officials say the two-story building caved in because its foundation was unstable, and the toll includes at least 2 people who were freed from the debris but later died in the hospital. France's Prime Minister Sébastien Lecornu has resigned just hours after unveiling his new cabinet, and the resignation was confirmed by the LC Palace following a 1-hour meeting between Lecornu and President Emmanuel Macron. Lecornu, who emerged less than a month ago to replace Francois Bayrou, steps down amid criticism over the composition of his cabinet. This is coming after several parties in the National Assembly opposed the cabinet, saying it was mostly the same as Beirut's and threatened to reject it. Here now is 18 Sports News. Kwara United have sacked their head coach, Tunde Sani, after the team suffered a 1-0 home defeat to Abia Warriors in Sunday's Nigeria's Premier League Football League Match Day 7 game. The decision followed the club's recent poor performance, including their early exits from the CAF Confederation Cup, where they lost 5-3 on aggregate to Asante Kotoko of Ghana. In the meantime, assistant coach Ashifat Suleiman has been directed to take charge of the team until a new head coach is appointed. Super Eagles head coach Eric Chell and other technical crew members on Monday arrived Polokwane, South Africa for the crucial 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifying fixture against the Crocodiles of Lesotho. The team's backroom staff has also arrived Polokwane for the matchday 9 encounter, and they are based at the Ranch Hotel in Polokwane. Meanwhile, the invited players are expected to start arriving camp later today, and according to the team's media officer, Promise Efego, some of the players are already in Johannesburg, where they will connect a flight to Polokwane. The Super Eagles will hold their first training session on Tuesday and will take on the Crocodiles at the Peter Mokaba Stadium, Polokwane, on Friday. Former Liverpool captain Steven Gerrard is set for a return to Rangers, and the Scottish Premiership giants are looking to hire a new coach after sacking Russell Martin. Martin's miserable reign ended after just 17 games, following a 1-1 draw with Falkirk, and the result saw Rangers sit in 8th position with 8 points from 7 fixtures so far. Gerrard cut his coaching teeth with Rangers in 2018 and led them to the Premiership title in 2020 and 2021, and their only championship win only 2011, and left in 2021 for Aston Villa. And now entertainment news. Eshelu of Ishelu Kingdom of Yewa North Local Government Area of Ogun State, Oba Akintunde Akinyemi, has called for the arrest of Ayomi Posi Oluwadahunsi, the Nigerian content creator popularly known as Man the Keys, over a plan to attempt a Guinness World Record for the highest number of sexual partners in one day. The traditional ruler made the call in an open letter addressed to the Lagos State Governor, Batunde Sanwo-Olu, in Abeokuta, Ogun State capital, adding that Oluwadahunsi, the Nigerian content creator popularly known as Man the Keys, has announced plans to attempt a Guinness World Record for the highest number of sexual partners in one day. In an Instagram post on Monday, Man the Keys shared a flyer bearing the GWR logo, revealing that the attempt is scheduled to begin on October 30, which was shared with nearly 400,000 Instagram followers, targeting 100 men within 24 hours. The event is set to take place in the Ikorodu area of Lagos, though a specific venue was not disclosed, and Oba Akinyemi said the conduct of Man the Keys and our co-travelers has now necessitated the need for the federal government to regulate the way youths behave, especially on social media. The monarch also admonishes Lagos State government to consider the possibility of inviting the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, to extend an invitation to Man the Keys for a drug test, showing that she may be under the influence of drugs. Nigerian singer Habib Okikiola, popularly known as Portable, has called on government to ban prank videos following a recent altercation at Port Harcourt International Airport. Portable was reacting to a viral video that shows him dressed in beach attire and attempting to confront an unidentified individual amid a crowd of onlookers and airport personnel, adding that security guards in blue uniforms can be seen restraining the singer, pulling him away from the scene toward a waiting vehicle in the airport's parking area. He alleged that the pranksters had spoiled his name through viral videos and asserted his trust in divine protection, including a case he was declared wanted by the police in Nigeria. And that's the global news for tonight. Before we go, another look at the major stories. Ex-NBA President halts assembly from probing EBAs in Rivers. Wike plans to implement 2025 budget in health sector. Obi demand prosecution of certificate fraudsters. NNPC links cooking gas price hike to Pengassan strike. Israel, Hamas begin ceasefire talks in Egypt. Kwara United sacks coach after home defeat. Monarch wants drug tests for Man the Keys. I am Favor Chikwesiri Michael. Thank you for watching. You can follow us on our social media handles on Twitter at Atlantic TV Net, on Facebook and YouTube at Atlantic Television Network, and on Instagram at Atlantic TV Network. And don't forget, peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Do have a pleasant night rest.